Hello, Furry Gohan here. Nice to see you, YouTubers. This is my bullfrog right here, Ivan Ooze. He just shed his skin and ate it. It's easy to tell a male from a female. Males have much larger circles behind the eyes, and they also do a mating call that sounds similar to a mooing cow. This is an American bullfrog. A bullfrog is a very high maintenance pet, so if you're not ready to commit, I wouldn't suggest getting one. A Pac-Man frog or a toad would be a better pet. Or a leopard frog, much easier. Bullfrogs in the wild, American bullfrogs, live an average of 7 to 9 years. They can live 16 years in captivity. If you think that's a long time, African bullfrogs live an average of 20 to 30 years, and the oldest on record was 51 years old. American bullfrogs do have teeth, but a bite's virtually harmless. Unlike an African bullfrog, which has protruding bones on the top and bottom jaw, they can give a nasty bite. This here, I raised him from a tadpole I got from a bait shop. I got 2 tadpoles, only one made it. In the tadpole stage, I fed him fish flakes, algae from the fish pond, as well as snake vine leaves. We're going to see if he eats. I've got him a large moth and a little western toad. A western toad's toxin is virtually harmless to a bullfrog. Set the phone down one sec, you guys. Sorry for the blackness. Bullfrogs only hit moving targets. As soon as that toad hops, he should go for it. He did just shed his skin, and most frogs and toads eat their skin when they shed, but I'm sure a bullfrog has a seemingly endless appetite. But that doesn't mean you should satisfy that appetite. At a young age, you should feed him a decent sized meal every other day. As they get older, he only needs to eat every 2 to 3 days, sometimes every 4 days. I feed him toads, lizards, tree frogs, water frogs, house geckos, large hawk moths, roaches, crickets, just about anything, earthworms. There ain't much they won't eat. I personally prefer an American bullfrog to an African bullfrog. That's just a matter of preference. I think they're prettier and they're not quite as aggressive. It might take a little bit for him to hit that toad. It ain't moving. Even though I've raised him from a tadpole, he is quite skittish, so I haven't been able to get him to hand feed. If you hand feed an African bullfrog, I suggest using plastic tweezers or tongs, but make sure you don't use metal tweezers. They attack so voraciously that they can injure the inside of their mouth. I've also seen American bullfrogs hand feed. There we go, he tried to get him. But this one here, he's just a little too skittish. He couldn't eat a toad much bigger than this. Toads have air sacs that they inflate to make it harder to swallow, but this toad's not big enough to stop this bullfrog from eating them. There's his water dish back there. This is a bioactive enclosure. The very bottom is coal and ash, and then oak leaves, and then soil up top. Let me try the moth. Ooh. He'll get the toad eventually, but he should definitely go after this moth. There we go. The toad doesn't move much, so he wasn't all that interested. There we go, YouTubers. After these 2 meals, he won't need to eat again for another 2 days. I love watching frogs and toads eat. I'll give him small insects as a snack on occasion, and large meals only 2 to 3 times a week, depending on how large. Remember too, maintenance is very important for an amphibian like this. You can have a healthy frog for years, skip a couple of days without changing the water dish, and kill your pet frog. You should also look out for bloating, discoloration, or no appetite. These can be signs of failing health, and you may need to take your bullfrog to the veterinarian to get him checked out. Water changes are frequent. As I said, every 2 to 3 days I have to change the water in his dish. Some people recommend doing it daily. I've got vines. I've got a little bit of mother-in-law's tongue, as well as some Mexican petunia in here. It's soil up top. I don't recommend using rocks, and try not to have too many leaves, because bullfrogs will eat substrate along with their food. They are almost mindless when it comes to eating, and whatever gets in their mouth gets swallowed. Avoid feeding them lubar grasshoppers if you have them in your area. They have poisonous exoskeletons. Your frog's just going to get sick and regurgitate it. The most identifiable species of lubar grasshopper is large, black and yellow, with red on the wing casings and red wings they use for intimidation and mating displays. When they are young, they're black with a yellow stripe down their back. I pretty much don't feed on grasshoppers at all. I feed him crickets, roaches, just about anything else. I've even fed him a goldfish once. A young bullfrog, it's good to either get calcium powder and add to the food. They need a lot of calcium. Or pinky mice and pinky rats make a great feeder. Sorry about the thunder. I hope you guys can hear me. It's about to storm. My plants are going to appreciate it. But avoid feeding your frog mice and furry rats, anything with hair. Unlike a snake, they cannot digest hair, and it can cause a clog in their stomach and kill your frog. But pinky mice and pinky rats are fine and a great source of calcium for your growing frog. They prefer acidic water, so I get water from the fish pond and pour in here. It's naturally acidic from the oak leaves that fall in the pond. It's pouring and the toad's hiding. Until he starts moving, he's not going to go for it. But you guys got to watch him eat something. I'm sorry I didn't video him at tadpole stage or other feeding. I've been a bit down and depressed. I still miss my oldest dog that passed away, John. He was 17 and a half, dingo and lab. But I'm going to try and start making more videos, you guys. If you're still watching this video, I'm also on Dragon City if you happen to be on Dragon City. It's Furry Gohan ZTV with a couple of emojis, same name as my YouTube channel. You can join my alliance. My actual name's Gohan. Give you a look from a distance. This is a male, and most likely in the smaller tank I have a female. Let me put a light on it so you guys can see. She's too small right now. He'll eat her or choke to death trying, but once she gets bigger, I'm going to put them together. See her back there? There's also another western toad in here. This one's for the garter snake. It's too big for the large bullfrog to eat. I've grown to like the toad a little bit. I've had it for a few days, but unfortunately it is snake food. But the bullfrog here is going to be in the cage with the other one when it gets big enough. Even if it's another male, they may fight once, but they should get along after that. American bullfrogs are not as aggressive as African bullfrogs. It's recommended to only keep one African bullfrog in a cage, but you can keep a couple of American bullfrogs together. I've done it. If they're around the same size, even if one's a little smaller, they normally don't mess with each other or try and eat each other. The only time I've actually had them bite each other in past events is if they're both going for the same food item, so feeding them in different enclosures is recommended. He's not quite full grown, but if you can see, well, he hopped, he got scared. He's already almost as big as my hand. This is the same light I use on the banded water snake's cage. She's doing fine. She's gotten a little bigger. I'll do another video of her eventually so you can see how she's doing. And you can see my babies. This here is Broly. This is Kikyo. And over there is Scarlet. Little girl. I love my dog so much. Scarlet here, the orange one, she's John's puppy. She's lab dingo and her mother was full-blooded American blue-nosed pit bull. This is her brother. His mom and dad are the same. His dad's John and his mom was the blue-nosed pit bull. He's a good boy. And Kikyo here, her mom is Scarlet and her dad was wolf and husky. He was mostly husky and about 15% wolf. That's where her blue eye comes from, and her upright ears. When you get her in the sun, even though she appears black, she's actually more orange than she is black. Well, until next time, please like and subscribe, leave me a comment below, and I don't make videos that often, so if you don't mind, hit the bell icon so you'll know when I do upload something. Please take care, good luck in your endeavors. Gohan loves you all.